Thank you for watching Weekend Prime and welcome back. June last year saw the biggest uprising of young people, united to oppose punitive tax proposals and to demand permanent solutions to long governance problems. Now, armed with their phones and an unshakable resolve, they forced change through the streets and on social media. Our reporter Dennis Omoni looks at the role of digital activism in the Gen Z rebellion.
In June 2024, President William Ruto encountered what is arguably the greatest test of his rule. For weeks, the Kenya Kwanza administration faced a youthful rebellion that stunned many with unmatched organization and popularity. Many months of quiet disapproval of the government's running needed just one trigger, the 2024 finance bill, before the raw rage manifested in the streets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Unlike those in the past, these protests were youthful, leaderless, tribeless, and issue-based. The defining factor it would emerge was social media. X, TikTok, Facebook, and WhatsApp were crucial in the mass mobilization, real-time dissemination of information, and the coordination of protesters.
Those things were being shown live. The Gen Zs had mobilized properly using TikTok and Facebook and WhatsApp. A number of these Gen Zs went to one school. They have a group of secondary, then they have a group of maybe your university where you are, then you have a group. So they have multiple groups. Once you send one clip, it is in 1,000 WhatsApp groups.
People are already charged. They're already waiting for a trigger. Preceding the trigger, I remember last year's finance bill discussion was held very widely online, and people were able to break it down into formats that everyone would understand.
The age of digital activism had come, and its arrival was loud. What initially began in the capital, Nairobi, soon spread to other cities and towns across the country. Protest information, including the venues, time, public order and safety rules, dress codes and helplines for those in distress, was shared from anonymous sources and instantly went viral. Popular bloggers, influencers, and renowned activists such as Boniface Mwangi, politicians, and professionals gave the protests momentum through public endorsements.
When people said that the demonstration or the protest were organic, they were not wrong. But it had to call for influencers, because nobody else, mwenye tu wako kawaida hizi kuwa na, you know, if an influencer tweets, kila mtu anaweza kuwa ametweet, a million people ametweet, but influencer kitweet it will get to a big audience, and some influencers have bigger following.
X, known for sober discussions, provided a platform for experts to explain the new tax proposals through long threads and X spaces. These forums were used to demand accountability when government officials chose to participate. An X space set up to demand the release of blogger Billy Simani following his arrest on June 21st and hosted by blogger Osama Otero had 1.2 million people signing in from 50,000 accounts over the 7 hours it lasted. Here, the then sports CS Kipchumba Murkomen fielded hard questions. His appetite for luxury watches, shoes and belts had made him the face of opulence in government, much to the disdain of the protesters who championed prudent use of public funds.
I don't know about Billy, bro. I don't know about Billy.
So popular were the X spaces that President Ruto himself joined one on July 5th, days after shelving the contentious finance bill. The session was a humbling moment and had no formalities associated with the presidency.
I took a long time before coming to X. I think I should be more often in this X space to engage with you guys and to deal with situation there.
All this time, TikTokers were making the best out of the platform's strength, short-form video content. For about 30 seconds or less, the short videos explained the new taxes. Creative clips from the protests went viral.
What you're watching are live scenes. What do I manage kuingia parliament?
And live streams gave a minute-by-minute account of events on the streets in real time. Ademba Allens is a journalist and human rights activist who rose to fame for selfless acts of rescuing victims of police brutality when parliament security was breached. just a few minutes past 4 p.m. on June 25th.
And I really love what happened, set in Tadanganya, because at the time that we knew that we have a voice and our voice could be heard. So June 15th to 18th, that's now when everybody was doing content about reject. Actually, it was just reject finance bill. Occupy parliament, ilikuja kushika on June 20th. Rex Masai died on June 18th. So for me, actually, it was not something that I knew that could build up to whatever it built up to. So mimi nilikuwa tu hapo, just doing content. But the moment I hit street, year 18th na 20th, nikaanza ku upload the actual scenes of what was happening, and me going live kwa TikTok. That's where everything changed.
Meta's messaging platform WhatsApp was crucial in direct engagement between protest planners and willing participants. They formed groups which would be organized into communities. With 1,000 members per group and 50 groups in one community, 50,000 people could be reached directly in one go. Lewis Ngunyi, an activist based in Nanyuki, was arrested and later cleared of charges by a court for planning protests in the town.
Conversations start on X, then they're severely amplified on TikTok, because the TikTok generation is different, man. I keep because I think it's a generation that's slightly younger than I am, the people that are very active on that platform. And these kids don't know danger. They don't understand adversity. They really, really haven't faced life-threatening problems. Even the memories of, dark points in history, for them are just hazy. So these kids don't care. And I love it.
Similar trends were evident on Facebook, despite the platform being uncommon among the Gen Z demographic. The success of the social media campaigns has been linked to a tech-savvy generation that is highly skilled in the use of digital tools and an increasingly online population. Hashtags such as Reject Finance Bill, Occupy Parliament, and Ruto Must Go pushed the conversation further, even getting global attention.
Demonstrators are calling for the mother of all protests, to coin their phrase today.
Algorithmic releases is usually to increase engagement and viewership, and to basically keep you in the platform. So you can either work for the algorithm or you can force the algorithm to work for you. So if the algorithm is designed maybe to reward content of a certain type, but then everybody starts to shift to the different type, the algorithm is able to adjust on the go. So what Kenyans did last year was we forced the TikTok algorithm. And if you looked at TikTok news, even international TikTok celebrities were getting rewarded highly.
The surprise was the Zello walkie-talkie, an app which allowed 1,200 protesters to push a button and talk to the others, provided they were in the same channel. It helped them map out the city's streets, marking areas with police presence and settling on their next routes. Eventually, the chaos died, but calls for the regulation of social media have come to life. Leaders claim unethical use of the new technologies, including artificial intelligence.
People have looked for VPN. You can't even notice. So when you hear discussion in our own country, people think about criminalizing, controlling. The language like control is no longer in our lives. You either regulate, you allow people to self-regulate or regulate, but you can't control. How will you control? I've told you, we just tried some of these websites and publications. They come here, you say you want to look at how they do. Somebody has brought a complaint. You go and you find these guys are registered in the US, in UK, St. James Islands, the websites, but they're Kenyans, the thing is running in Kenya. So how do you control such a person? You can only engage.
The Media Council of Kenya also flagged misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech in a report released 2 months after the protests. The digital activism and some vocal voices' personal losses, including loss of brand deals. Alan lost his job.
I'm not going to live a normal life anymore. So I have to watch over my shoulders at work, honestly speaking. Sometimes I prefer kutembea na public means. Naenda pale napanda matatu, naenda where I want to go. Not because I can't afford a Uber, but because hujui ni nani ndo dereva wa Uber. At least nikishiko kwa mat, these people will see.
Social media was also essential in crowdfunding to foot hospital bills and settling burial expenses for the victims of the protests. Dennis Omondi reporting for KTN.